I don't think we can deny the fact that there's a high level of concern among people in their 60s and also those with underlying health conditions who've received the first dose of AstraZeneca. And the first issue was concern, obviously, about the length of the interval. But the second issue is in relation to the efficacy of it in respect of the Delta variant. Now, you know, things have changed since we got more information about the Delta variant. And we know now that even with 2 doses, AstraZeneca only gives protection up to the level of 60% in relation to transmissibility. There is another study about risk of hospitalisation, but in relation to transmissibility, it only gives protection of 60% compared to 88% protection with Pfizer. Now, I asked the Minister about this a few weeks ago, if we would consider mixing and matching, and his response at that stage was that he couldn't do that because all of the existing vaccines had been committed, so it was a logistical reason for that. Since then, we know that NIAC have said they haven't studied it completely yet, but that the early indications were very encouraging. We also know that Luke O'Neill has strongly supported this. Kingston Mills made a very, very strong epidemiological case yesterday for why we should take that approach. 5 other European countries are doing it. I'm asking you, will you give consideration to this now, especially in light of the fact that we're told that there are improved supply lines? Paul Reid said that this morning. So we need to protect people on the basis of risk. The older a person is, the more likely they are to have underlying health conditions and the more likely they are to be at risk of contracting the virus.
In relation to the AstraZeneca, Deputy Shortall's comments, it's 92% public health study yesterday, 92% effective against hospitalisation, which is key, by the way, which is a very key metric. It's an important point. Yeah, I know, but the 92% against hospitalisation is an important point. It's an important piece of research which does deserve to be highlighted, is the point I'm making. And also, NIAC have not recommended the mixing of vaccines. And also, by the middle of July, we'll only be down to 2 vaccines, Moderna and Pfizer. That's where we'll be once we've completed the second dose of AstraZeneca. And NIAC, Karina Butler, yesterday was very clear that people should accept the vaccines that they're being offered. We will be in a position to complete the second dosage of the AstraZeneca programme by the middle of July. And then for the remainder of the programme, we need to get as many people as protected as we possibly can overall. And that's important too, in terms of the supply of vaccines. June is the highest month of supply that we will have. And then, you know, so I think it is important to get as high a number as we possibly can vaccinated. And as a country, we're top of Europe in terms of the participation rates, right across the age cohorts, which is very, very important and a significant point, which I think is giving us protection and is giving us added protection as a society. You know, again, look, we can all accommodate, we can all have individual perspectives, but we have to go through the processes here and the various channels that advice come through. But it is a very significant step that the Deputy is advocating. But equally, every time we chop and change, it can potentially affect uptake as well. And that's a problem as well. We want to maintain our very high performance in relation to participation rates in vaccines and people uptaking the vaccines. And I think the age cohort approach has worked as we go down through the age cohorts and people waiting to get their vaccines and then availing of them. So that's where we are right now. And I think the HSE has announced that they can bring forward the AstraZeneca. That's good news. And by mid-July, that everyone will have their second dose. That gives very strong protection. I'm one of those who have taken the AstraZeneca vaccine, and I'm quite prepared to wait for my turn for the second dose. And I think as a society, if we keep pushing this out, we can get to very good levels of overall societal protection, certainly by the end of July, which will hopefully then be a strong bulwark against variants. I think we'll need boosters later on in the year. or maybe, sorry, early next year, depending. I think our older age cohorts will need boosters, vaccines too. But again, NIAC are saying now that the length of time of immunity is longer. So that's good news as well. And then we'll have to look at young people and children as well in the autumn. And I think NIAC are examining that following authorizations that have been given to the companies in respect of children and young people. And we have entered into pre-purchase agreements for RNA vaccines right throughout 2021 and 2022, along with the European Union. In relation to Deputy Paul Murphy,